Welcome back to The Art Show. I'm Susan, your host, and with me we have Brenda Ford, who is an author extraordinaire. Now, Brenda, we were talking about your book, Caught in the Middle, and we talked about you being a teacher. You started from very basic, though they're very big, positions within the school system and worked your way up to being a dean of discipline at an inner city school up north. And then you decided to use some of your experiences for the book. Tell us a little bit about the book, and I know that you're allowed to say it's a little raw sometimes.
Well, my book is written exactly like it happened. I did not soften anything as far as words were concerned. The cursings in the book, like what the student said. Personally, I did not really curse at anyone except for one chapter that's in there when I had an incident with 5 boys and a gun.
Oh my gosh.
In that particular situation, words like please should never exist because they're not going to understand that. And so therefore you have to speak the language of the area and come to an agreement that they have to listen to you, and the only way they might listen to you is to speak their language. So I had to come out of my face, so to speak, at that particular time. But basically, all the cursing in the book deals with what the children are saying and how they're trying to get their feelings across. I have cursing there with parents, cursing from parents.
To you, at you? Or just in general?
Well, I have 2 episodes in my book where, or 2 chapters, I should say, where parents got into fights in the school.
With each other?
With each other. One chapter deals with mothers bringing it to the school concerning a gentleman that they both were seeing in the area.
Oh, no.
Okay. And somehow or other, they want the entire area to know how they feel. So therefore, they bring it into the school because that's more or less like the telegraph area where they have a chance to say what they have to say and make sure it gets out to the community.
And that's mortifying to a child.
It is. And in that particular situation, the children were best friends.
Oh.
And they were begging throughout. I have it in the book where they were begging, Mommy, please, Mom, please, please. You know, it was really hard. And the second incident was 2 young ladies had a fight, and the mother of one of the children smacked the child. So the other child's mother came up and she wanted to start all kinds of problems. She wanted revenge.
Oh my gosh.
And so they got into it also. So I do have where parents sometimes are not using the most gentlest way of handling the situation.
And not good judgment sometimes.
No, not at all. And they get into it, and I had problems like that. I have episodes in the book where a jacket was stolen. I won't go into them in too much detail, but the jacket belonged to a drug dealer. And he wanted his jacket back, so he brought 2 pit bulls to the school and turned them loose.
Oh my gosh.
He got his jacket back.
Absolutely.
Maybe I shouldn't tell you
Probably
about that.
A dozen other jackets too.
Yeah, but the way it went down is very interesting. What happened.
And we have to read it to see.
Oh, yes,
know it.
you do, because that's one of my most interesting chapters, and especially the fact that I'm afraid of dogs. And pit bulls, as I have in my book, top the list. I mean, because they have that enzyme, they say, in their body, plus a locked jaw. Mm-hmm. And between the two makes them, as they say, bad.
Really bad.
And then other incidents in the book, I had to rescue a young lady from the schoolyard who cut out of school, couldn't get back in because a gang had her hostage outside. And security wouldn't go outside because they said she had no business being out there, and that wasn't their problem.
And you marched out yourself?
They came and got me. Her friend came and got me, and I went out. And that was also a rough chapter. I got her away from the gang, basically because the leader of the gang happened to be an ex-student of mine that I taught.
Oh
and
gosh.
That is, but that wasn't just because it was an ex-student of mine didn't mean it was an easy task that I had to perform.
Right.
That was a rough situation. It was 5 girls out there.
Did you ever fear for your life?
Yes, I did. I think that particular incident with the gang made me more fearful than the one with the gun, because the gun situation was a little different. They weren't pointing anything at me, but with the gang situation, there were knives involved. They took out a switchblade, opened it up. I didn't really know what was happening. And then as I left and walked away, I didn't know if I was going to be hit with knives, bullets, or what in my back. And that's another situation.
How'd you hold your head up? How'd you
Yes.
hold your head up?
I held my head up as high as I could and walked away, because you cannot show fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you show fear, you've lost the battle. You have to walk away, and even though you might be afraid, you have to act like you're not.
And that is like a lot of things in life, that we
Yes.
have to just hold our head up and have faith that we'll be protected.
That's right.
And you've got a great faith. When we come back, we're going to speak more with Miss Brenda about the book and how does a person who starts off as a teacher come up with such a great book and convince somebody that it is a book worth publishing, because this information is really important, not only to her as memories, not only to the schools, because a lot of this happens, but also to the rest of the world. That means you. I hope you stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the Art Show right after this.